everyone. Thanks for coming out. I just want to say before we start the meeting that depending on how long the meeting goes, I may have to excuse myself a little early for a middle school awards banquet. But with that being said, the time is now 6 p.m., May 19th, 2026. I call to order this regular scheduled meeting of the Oconee County Council. We'll begin with a moment of silence. Mr. James, would you lead us in prayer?
Sure. Let's pray. Father, as we come to you again this evening to handle county business, Lord, we do ask for your blessings on this gathering, Lord. Lord, we just ask that you would help us to be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath, Lord, and that you would give us wisdom and guidance throughout this meeting and help us to do what's best for the people of Oconee County that we represent. Lord, all this we ask in Christ's name. Amen.
Mr. Elliott, would you lead us in prayer?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
County Attorney comments, Mr. Chumley?
Briefly, Mr. Chairman, there is, it's come to our attention, there's one item that needs to be removed from the agenda, and that is on page 3 of your agenda, the discussion regarding the Goodwin Mills.
Goodwin Mills needs to be removed. We have a motion to amend the agenda to remove the PO 56366.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Mr. Chairman, there's two other minor words to offer for amendments at the appropriate time whenever you want to get to that.
Okay, thank you. All right. Mr. Jones, County Administrator comment?
Yes, sir. Just had a couple of things. Wanted to just let the public be aware, and this is through our solid waste department, is going to be having a collection day at the Mountain Rest Center number 6 on Saturday, June 6th from 8 a.m. till 12 p.m. They're going to be taking mattresses and box springs on that day. So you can bring up to 2 mattresses and 2 box springs from personal residents. And residents are responsible for unloading and stacking those. We won't have somebody that can lift those, so you just got to be able to lift them. But I just want to make the public aware of that. And also I had one correction on the agenda, Mr. Chairman, for under Resolution 2026-08. The word clarifying is misspelled right there, so I just wanted to correct that. And that's all, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Now we have a consent agenda. Is there any items anyone would like to remove from the consent agenda? Here none. Motion to approve consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor? Next we have public comment session. It's 5 minutes per person. We ask that you please keep the topic related to county business. We have a timer. Ms. Jennifer, is the timer going to work? We have a timer that will come up on the screen. It will count down from 5 minutes. At 1 minute, it'll go yellow. And when time expires, it'll go red. And sometimes people can get passionate and you can't see that, so I'll be right in front of you and I'll remind you as well.
Mr. Charles Morgan.
My name is Charles Morgan, and I am on Westminster City Council. We also are in the process of building our budgets. We also face challenges similar to you folks as well. I come here tonight because you are an integral part of our budgetary process. We have had commitments in the past from the county for fire and recreation. I'm here tonight to ask that you continue to honor and keep us at least the same level of those commitments. Our budget and our community depends on the funding we receive from you here at County Council. However, I do understand decisions have to be made. What I would like to know, if we are going to receive less funds, how much less? So we can prepare our budgets and we can plan for less revenues from the county. I want to thank each and every one of you for serving our county. It is much appreciated. It's probably more appreciated now than it would have been a year ago, now that I'm also an elected official. Look, when your rear end signs or sits in a different seat, you have a different perspective. And the decisions you folks have to make, that are getting ready to make over the next few weeks, not only affect just the county, but they do affect us in the municipalities. I thank you for your service, and I thank you for your time and your consideration for keeping the past commitments the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
Mr. Jeff Bright.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, County Council members. I was going to talk tonight about the moratorium, but I felt something more important. I watched the budget meeting yesterday, and I was taken completely back by what I heard and what I saw online. As a lifelong resident of Oconee County, 50 years, that probably was one of the darkest videos about Oconee County I'd ever seen. That not you guys, but you have been handed a budget that the numbers didn't even match. We had discrepancies all across the board. And the thing of it is, it goes back for years, years and years and years. I do want to say, Mr. Jones, I appreciate your candidness. You have developed a good rapport, I believe, with county residents, because we have transparency for the first time, and we've not had transparency ever. So I thank you for that. Matt, I watched your video last night. You were full of emotion. You were very upset, and you have every right to be. And you're correct when you say somebody needs to be held accountable for this. It goes back, if this just happened in 2025-26, how many years did it go back? Who knows what, and when did it all start? I believe that the forensic audit, I think, is going to tell a whole lot. But somebody needs to be held accountable, because the figures that even previous councils were given, how did that affect the taxpayer? The bottom line is, how is the taxpayer, how were they affected in all this? And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate what you're doing. I want citizens to understand that you collectively were doing what was handed to you. You were given the information, and again, I think at some point the council needs to have a discussion on how to go forward to, hopefully this will never happen again. We've had issues to affect Oconee County government many years in the 70s and the 60s, but nothing like turning on YouTube and listening and sitting there watching and finding out that the budget that you took, you voted on, that you thought was in the best interest, was just a shell game. The numbers didn't even match. I wish you a lot of luck moving forward, but the best thing that I can tell you is the transparency. Thank you for your transparency. Thank you for being honest and open. You didn't try to hide it. I feel that previous councils years ago would have probably tried to sweep it under the rug, but you didn't, and I thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Sarah Stight.
Told the truth.
Well, I wish I had listened to the budget meeting. First of all, I just wanted to give a shout out to Oconee Winds Orchestra. I wanted to publicly compliment the Oconee Winds under the leadership of Gina Sykes for their spring concert, May 10th. I was introduced to the orchestra during their Christmas concert, and just like the spring concert, it was a great performance. I think Oconee Winds is one of the best-kept secrets in Oconee County, and I highly recommend attending the concerts and look forward to seeing council members there. My second issue is the plastic recycling. I was very disappointed to learn that plastic recycling was being discontinued. We already have the bare minimum for recycling, but I understand the reason you explained for stopping the program, fuel costs. And I also understand the reason for the increased expenditure. Because of President Trump's illegal war, all of us are suffering the consequences. I want to know if the county is prepared for all the increased costs for services to our county. I understand last year the school system was able to give the county money from their budget. Surely the school system is noticing increased fuel expenditures for their buses now. How about all the other offices that use fuel? I'm specifically thinking of the police and emergency services. I'm concerned that the county cannot continue to rob Peter to pay Paul. My question is, do you have a concept of a plan to deal with the increased costs in providing services to Oconee County? Thank you.
Mr. Lee Sheehan.
Good evening, Council. I'm Lee Sheehan. Thank you for the time to allow to speak today. Mr. Durham, a week or so ago, you mentioned when we were talking about bringing industry to the county that you were concerned that we have a lot of young people leaving our county to move other places for higher paying jobs than they're available in Oconee County. A little bit of research on that, the median income, the median household income for Oconee County is about $65,000 a year. If you go to Greenville, not too far away from here, that median income is closer to $80,000 a year. And so I do agree that we need better, higher paying jobs, new industry, new business in the county. One of the other things, though, that we really need, and it kind of dovetails a little bit with tonight's agenda, is that we need affordable housing in Oconee County. So I did a little bit of research on that too and found that there were less than 20 homes available for sale today in Oconee County that are less than $200,000. And of that 20, only about 8 are livable. The others were fixer-uppers. If you move, and the median price for a house in Oconee County is $350,000. So with a median income and a median house price, can't afford that. The folks that live here can't afford a house, cannot afford to buy their own house. If you look at apartment rentals, they're just about as bad because the minimum apartment rentals start at over $1,000 a month to rent. So if you look at Greenville, South Carolina, as a comparison, many apartments for less than $1,000 a month. They may not be as nice, who knows? But also there were over 60 new homes available under $240,000. So one of the reasons that I believe young people are leaving not only is the salary they can make, but the affordable housing that they can come up with. So because we're in the midst of working through changes with the zoning and design ordinances, tonight we're talking about Resolution 2607, to change those things, I urge this council and the planning committee that's behind it to consider affordable housing for Oconee County. There are ways to enact legislation, ordinances, whatever, to allow builders incentives for building affordable housing. There's also, Greenville has a plan, they call it the workforce housing plan, where they actually, when a developer comes in to build a subdivision, they require them to build some percentage of houses in the affordable range. And so that's something I think we strongly should consider in Oconee County as well, just so we don't price ourselves out. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this. The median house price in Greenville County is $365,000. So basically, the metropolitan area of Greenville is the same house price as the rural area of Oconee. We've actually priced ourselves housing, and I realize that's not a council issue, that's a supply and demand issue, but we've priced ourselves really out of the market. So I encourage the council and the planning committee that you oversee to consider these issues for affordable housing in the future in these rewrites that they're working on in our zoning and building ordinances. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Daniel Manhart.
Well, gentlemen, we're only here for one thing. Back when, in all that sickness dilemma and the shots and all that, forget the word for it, having a Biden moment there, but, you know, I showed you this. Now, you split our community dead in half. We're all senior citizens there. And only about 25% of us live there full time. You don't get any votes by doing this. You changed my voting place from 5.9 miles to 21 miles to go up to Mountain Rest. When I came here in 2000, and believe me, I'm from a nasty state called New York. And they taxed me out of my house. And they did all kinds of crazy stuff without any thought to the constituents. And I hope that ain't happening here. Because I see a lot of change from 2000. And this is not one of the good ones. You're taking a bunch of senior citizens and making us drive 21 miles after all of the years we spent voting at picket post. And the Dyer, which my wife retired from, that's only 6 miles from me too. That's where the polling station is. And that's where I want to vote. It's my community. And I want it back. I guess that's all I can say, but man, I am a hack about politics. I've been looking at this stuff and studying the Constitution for 35 years. And what's happening here isn't the right direction. Because I've witnessed both ends. Thank you.
Comments? Council member comments? Just a couple. Mr. Morgan, you know, we're still in the process. Mr. Jones and Mr. Shirley and staff are still in the process. If there was some change, we would be sure to notify the City of Westminster immediately, because y'all are in budget talks as well, and we do realize that. Mr. Manhart?
Yes.
So county council doesn't set precinct lines. We don't draw the precinct lines.
Tell me it does.
No, the state does. We drew our districts, but we didn't move precincts and voting precincts. And for whatever reason, the last redistricting, right there about where you live, they said that the line, they clarified the line, was the explanation I received, was they had the line incorrect before. And when they shifted the line, it put some people to drive all the way up to Mountain Rest. And the way the precincts are, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, because there's people on Whetstone Road in Mountain Rest that has to drive all the way down to the American Legion in Walhalla versus voting on top of the mountain. But where you are, I agree, there's people that were right in there that was voting in Walhalla, some in picket posts, they got sent different directions when they did the lines. But that was the state, that's the state legislature that does that draws the precincts.
Well, what is the state legislation? Give me a name.
For us, for where you live, it's Bill Whitmire and Senator Thomas Alexander.
Now, I talked to Senator Alexander. He says it's your fault.
That's good to know. Yeah,
How about that?
we don't draw precinct lines. Anybody else?
Mr. Whitmire, I don't know how he keeps getting elected. Nobody ever opposes him. And I've never seen him or heard him do anything.
I don't want to turn into campaign time, okay? But thank you. Any other council? All right, next we have public hearing. We have, let's see here, one public hearing. for ordinance 2026-15, an ordinance to impose a moratorium on any new construction, development, or planned subdivision seeking to establish more than 10 residential dwellings and other matters related thereto.
Mr. Tom Markovich.
Good evening. For the record, I'm Tom Markovich. And I understand the intent of the council. I think Mr. Nix did a great job of explaining why it was necessary to enact the moratorium at this time. I don't think personally, I don't think moratoriums ever solve anything. But nonetheless, I at least understand the intent. But when I read the language that came out, I was very concerned, and because it's not clear. And in fact, I had several calls from builders being concerned that they may not be able to even pull a permit in just a regular subdivision that's already been started. And so, anyway, my recommendation is to do an amendment to this moratorium and clarify some of the language. One of the issues is that there's a section in there that applies to any residential living unit projects. But when you get into the language of it, it basically says any residential living unit project, and I think that should be struck, and it should say any new residential development projects. There's a big difference. And then the other part has to do with vested rights. And I understand I understand vested rights very well. I pretty much wrote the law. And in fact, the first law on vested rights was tested in this county on the Monte Lago project in 2006 and 2008. So anyway, but any of the developers who've already started the process and are in having their projects, if they've already submitted their initial plan, they have to be able to follow through with that. But the language is not clear on that. It could be easily confused, and we don't need staff to be confused by some of this stuff. So I'm just suggesting some simple amendments to your moratorium ordinance. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Markovich.
Mr. Ronald Martin.
Most of y'all have probably done tired of hearing me, but I've called each one of you and discussed our problem. We own a farm in town. We own several farms, and I'm trying to cut back. And we've got a contract with a developer on this farm. It was signed, I think they signed on March 24th, and they have spent a ton of money already on plans, all the red tape, of course, y'all know they have to go through. Following y'all's guidelines and not knowing a moratorium was coming up, and we're kind of having the rug jerked out from under us because it's going to put an end to it. Could put an end to it permanently because we don't know what changes you're going to make and whether they're going to want to stick around long enough to find out. But right now, we pay, it's agriculture, we pay about $200 a year property tax. And as we just talked about this today, the county's kind of hurting for money. If these houses was put down there, considering the number of houses and a couple of vehicles, maybe more per house, boats, motorcycles, or whatever, property tax probably going to be $750,000 compared to $200. I think the county could use that. But anyway, this is devaluing our property considerably if we don't sell it to the developer. And there again, we're talking about affordable housing. But our contract was in March. I've actually trying to cut back on cows. I got cows on 4 other farms. And I already marketed the cows, sold them because I thought this was going through. Got like 9 cows left down there. Was about 70 mama cows, more calves too. But I could have got another year's worth of calf crops if I'd known this was popping up, but they're gone now. But anyway, I just feel like we need a clause or whatever you want to call it. If people's got a contract to sell their land, of course they was not going to buy the land until they could find out that the county was going to approve the houses. So we're under contract. They have worked hard. They haven't drug around. They haven't been able to get with the planning committee because county problems there. And they're here tonight. They're going to discuss. They got records of emails and phone calls and really not getting anywhere with the county. So they did turn in an application before the second vote on this moratorium. So we're asking the county to grandfather us in, or whatever term y'all want to use, and let us continue, because they've spent a ton of money. We're risking loss of income on the land and the value of the land. So we're just asking y'all to do what you can do to help people like us that's already involved, following the county rules, and then suddenly they're changed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Brian Wilson.
Good evening, council, staff. My name's Brian K. Wilson. I'm here to talk about the moratorium as well. I have five different small, petite, I call them subdivisions, that one of them we've been working on in the planning and going back and forth with emails for over a year, trying to get something in the planning commission to move forward, and have not been able to do so. So those are in process. So kind of like the other gentleman said, I think some of these that I have in process should continue to be allowed to move forward. However, Anderson County just went through the moratorium. I sat on the committee and rewrote their whole, basically chain builders are not gonna be allowed back in Anderson County. The way we wrote the ordinances were great. They're 27 lot subdivisions, nice homes. That allows me to go to Westminster, which I have 3 subdivisions in, and build affordable housing at $210,000 a house. I build my big houses so I can sell the small houses to get some affordable housing going in this community where I've always lived. What I'd ask is that you just stay the moratorium, get a subcommittee, I'll sit on it and I'll rewrite it for you and pay for it out of my pocket. If we could sit down and just talk for a minute and say, how can we do this responsibly for our people that have always lived here and have always been in this area? It just takes 1 minute to say, let's have a subcommittee, let's slow down a second. I'll take my time. I'll be here every day if you want me to be. I'll have my lawyer write it. But we just gotta slow down and look at what could be best for the whole community. Again, I've got 27 houses on Bannerland Road that will produce over $1 million in tax revenue. They're not on septic. They're on septic. They're not on sewer, not impacting anything, not impacting traffic. But yet, we kind of get caught up in the, I understand, slow down to speed up. And if that's the case, maybe it's a small slowdown, and I'll be willing to help put my time in any way I can. That's really all I'd ask, is just to slow it down a minute, ask for a subcommittee. Love to give my time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Terry Cobb.
Oh, never mind. You wrote your name. Never mind.
Okay. Craig Roy.
Good evening, council, the county staff that's here. Appreciate your time here very much. Appreciate the opportunity to come before you and speak. I understand that you all do a lot of other things than just come here to do this, so we appreciate it. Our welcome here, although it's been short, has been nothing but top shelf in terms of dealing with the councilmen. A few that we've talked to, Mr. Mize and Mr. Hart, that I've had a chance to talk to. Kind of salt of the earth folks like we are. We appreciate that, and that's how you get business done, right? And, for sure. So we have Mr. Martin who just spoke, we have their track under contract. He said March 24th. It was actually March 12th, we executed it, had it under contract. We immediately started moving, particularly with how you're structured in terms of your approval process from a preview process, and then you go right to what you call preliminary plat. Your preliminary plat is more like really construction CD drawing approval, the way that you do it. So we were kind of fast tracking the project, spending money to get our geotech and get, all the things that we have to do. And Mr. Hart certainly understood and was not here tonight in terms of the money you have to spend just to vet this project that it will work is a tremendous amount of money today. And if you've never been involved in that process, you probably don't want to be today. The world has changed. It's an expensive project. So we're a privately held development company. We're not publicly traded. We're not dealing with Wall Street money. So when we have things like this occur, it really hurts. We feel it in our pockets, I promise you. The kind of money that we have out on this project is tremendous since March 12th. We moved quickly because of how your processes are started. Gray Engineering was our engineer that we were working with on this project, was unable to get a hold of anyone in the planning department. They did send an email to Elise, I forget her last name, but then also Mr. Reed as well, and received no response. That was on around the 1st of the month and the 15th of the month of April. No response. We called down here numerous times, could not get a response. And we moved forward, then we learned as we were doing our work and getting things lined up, I by accident, due to your good reporting, your reporting, popped up on my computer while I was looking at another piece of property that you had this ordinance in place, and I learned of that on the day that you had voted, the next day, which was the 7th. So we immediately submitted our project. We were denied the same day on the 7th. We know that in researching, that's within your legal right to do that, and we appreciate that, and we respect that. But at the same time, if we have something under contract with your present laws that are in place, we're spending money in good faith with your pleasant rules that you have in place, right? We don't have a crystal ball, none of us do, right? That they're just going to automatically change how things are going to be done. We believe in moratoriums, by the way, and we believe in development regs being rewritten because many municipalities today don't really follow them very well, right? But when they're part of the process and they get them right, it makes our job much easier. So, we're not naysayers about moratoriums and getting development regs updated at all. But at the same time, we are business people that put hard cash in. They're spending a lot of money to do something based on the laws and rules and regulations, ordinances, and guidelines that you have in place. All of a sudden, with very little notice, it changed. I came to the meeting, the second reading, I came. You could not publicly speak, and that's fine, but I did have a chance to speak to Mr. Mize and Mr. Hart, and I can tell you nothing but gentlemen. and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. And this is business, right? It's not personal. We get that. Hopefully you can look at us as individuals and understand that we have families to take care of too, bills to pay like anybody else. Just like I heard earlier tonight, you guys have got to figure out your budgets, right? Well, we have budgets just the same as any county or any other business. This is really financially putting a strain on us as a company to have this kind of money outlay and time invested in staff and to not be able to go anywhere for 8 months, which will probably be a year. By the time, even if it is 8 months, by the time we restructure, we do get monies restructured in place. For us, it'll be a year no matter what. But we see very few of these moratoriums get resolved. I think it's in the county's interest much more to get a third party than have anyone that's involved in business to help you with your regs, or look to another municipality that's gone before you and look at their regulations. I think is much better process than having someone like us or anyone else participate in the process. I think that's probably in your best interest. I just wanted to speak to what I heard the gentleman, Mr. Cox, spoke of a moment. I just don't think that's in the best interest. All different building companies have place in municipalities, not just, people that don't do production building in terms of doing that. The timeline is real simple for us. March 12th, we had it under guideline. The month all the way through April, we were trying to communicate here. Could not get any communication from our engineer. Could not. And then from there, we learned of this moratorium, and we learned of it on the 7th. Came back, submitted on the 7th because we were already working on it. We could have submitted earlier, but we were trying to it's in our best interest to meet with you before we ever submit anything and make sure there's a meeting of the minds. Because often you can say, yeah, that's in the regs, but we prefer it this way. Well, guess what? We want to be a good partner. And we don't want to just be in Oconee County one time and out the door. We want to be a really good partner. So with that spirit of partnership, we're hoping you can understand and partner with us and look at this and make an amendment for anyone that had their property under contract ahead of this, that we can continue to proceed and we're not just blocked and sitting on a bunch of money that's out there that is now really could potentially be lost money to Mr. Martin's point, we don't know what you're gonna do in the future now, how you're gonna do that. That could be a huge loss to us, of cash that we've outlaid at this point. So just wanted to appeal to your business sense, your kindness, and hopefully we can find a way to find a happy medium here. And I can't thank you enough for your time. I do appreciate it. And no matter which way the cookie crumbles or the ball falls, we still want to be good partners, and we want to work well with you for the future. All right, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Mr. Brant Little.
Good evening, councilman and staff. Thank you for your time today. I'm Brent Little, and I'm here representing the Green Paw Project. The Green Paw Project has been underway in the works since 2022, and it is where Davis Creek Road intersects Highway 123 on both sides of Davis Creek Road. So in 2024, we executed an agreement with the Oconee Joint Regional Sewer Authority to put in $5 million worth of infrastructure. We have put all of that line in. It's 2.5 miles of force main that came down and tied into Davis Creek Road, and a new lift station for a total of $5 million worth of infrastructure that if we had not paid for, that would have gone on the backs of the Oconee Joint Regional Sewer Authority and the ratepayers in Oconee County, the 83,000 people who live here. So we put that infrastructure in, and now we're ready to continue to move forward. We've already got let's see, get my directions right, the east side of 123 is completing construction. We're moving over to the west side of east side of Davis Creek Road to the west side of Davis Creek Road. And moving forward there, we've done all the geotech, we've submitted the site plan approvals, all of that. And so we've got 2 years and $5 million in the ground. All of that has now been approved by the Oconee Joint Regional Sewer Authority, SCDES, and Seneca Light and Water, all approved, green light, operational now. And that not only serves our two little pieces of property there on either side of Davis Creek Road, but that entire area. So for example, the Shadwicks still own the Paws Diner parcel, and my understanding is they have it under contract for a new Outsiders Coffee that will be going in there. But it serves not just our properties that we're building on today, but also that entire area. So we're putting the infrastructure in. We've signed a shuttle contract for the apartments that we already have underway. That will keep a lot of money per year. I won't say the number, but it's a lot of money per year. It's the premium service from the shuttle company, and it will keep new cars off of 123 and that intersection there that can get so busy at busy times of the day. So we've got that infrastructure, and then between these sites that we're developing, it'll be another $1.5 million of taxes annually. And as we've all been discussing, there's a budgetary issue here, and we're happy to be paying our property taxes. But that $1.5 million is a lot of money to the city coffers. So we're putting our infrastructure in, we're keeping traffic off the streets, we're paying our taxes, which will help the Oconee County budgets, and serving the entire area. So I apologize, I've got dirt on my feet because I've been out there walking in that beautiful red dirt. But all we're looking for is to continue work on Project Green Paw. It's executed, we put $5 million in the ground, and we just want to keep going and finish that project and pay our taxes like we should. So thank you for your time, and we're welcome to meet with any of you individually, speak about this. We've been working on it for 4 years now, so we just want to continue and finish this project and have it all completely delivered by the end of 2028. So thank you very much for your time.
Someone have a seat.
Excuse me. So I'll close public hearing on ordinance 2026-15. Next, we have third and final reading, ordinance 2026-15. We just had public hearing on it. It's an ordinance to impose a moratorium on any new construction or development of planned subdivisions seeking to establish more than 10 residential dwelling units and other matters related thereto. Motion?
So moved. Second.
Second. I do want to make one amendment. I reached out to Mr. Chumley to get assistance with this because it does get a little confusing. The top is obvious, it's 10 units. Exceeding 10 units, but later it gets a little bit fuzzy. So on page 2, section 1, subsection Bravo, it says any residential living unit project to include townhomes, apartments, duplexes, or any other multi-unit development. After development, I would like to insert the language exceeding 10 dwelling units. So that's after development, that's just making it clear that it's not a moratorium on any of those individual type of units for construction. So I'll make a motion, make that amendment as I stated. Second. Any discussion on the amendment? If none, all in favor of the amendment? Aye. Okay, we're back to the main item. Any discussion on the main item? Well, hearing none, all in favor? Next, we have, second reading, we have 4 ordinances. First is ordinance 2026-13, an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a real property lease agreement between Oconee County as leaseor and Oconee History Museum Incorporated as lessee for certain real property known as the Tobacco Barn located at 123 Brown Square Drive, Walhalla, South Carolina, and other matters related. Second.
Mr. Chairman.
You need one amendment, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Chauncey?
The proposed change was the word exterior. If you'll look in your materials on the lease itself, which is Article 1, the premises, this word exterior would go in the last sentence right before the word retaining. And that would just clarify, it's come to our attention that that wall that extends out from the museum is at least 100 years old. It may date from the 1880s, but there's some question whether it goes into the building and is a continual wall in there. So this would just clarify that this is the exterior. It's not part of the premises.
I make a motion for identification.
Motion?
Second.
Second. All in favor of the amendment? We're back to the main ordinance. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. All right, ordinance 2026-14, an ordinance to exempt from the property tax 42 and 75/100% of the fair market value of a watercraft and its motor pursuant to SC Code Section 1237-220, Bravo 38, Bravo.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? I will say just clarification, this is preemptively bringing this county into line with the new tax code that the General Assembly just passed this session. So it's bringing us in line to it now and allowing us to plan for it on our own terms versus 3 years from now. All in favor? Aye. Next is ordinance 2026-16, an ordinance to authorize the execution and delivery of an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Seneca for the administration and operation of 911 and dispatch communication services and other matters related thereto.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Not hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Next is ordinance 2026-17, an ordinance to amend chapter 38 of the Oconee County Code of Ordinances to rename the Control-Free District and its abbreviations CFD to the General Use District and GUD respectively, and to make conforming changes throughout chapter 38 and other related matters.
Make a motion.
Motion, Mr. Miles.
Second.
Second, Mr. James. Any discussion? So I'll just say this for public knowledge. We talked about chapter 38, 32, and 26 with a moratorium. Moratorium is for large subdivisions. There's still people going to be coming for permits. And the control-free district is not a correct term because you have setbacks, you have density requirements. And then this will fall in line with the rewrites that's coming as well. All in favor? Aye. First reading of the following ordinance, ordinance 2026-19, an ordinance authorizing the conveyance of easement rights to Blue Ridge Electric Cooperative Incorporated for the purpose of utility infrastructure construction and maintenance at property owned by Oconee County and located at Morris Road, Seneca, South Carolina. Such property currently identified by tax parcel number 24000040014 and other matters related thereto.
So moved. Second.
Second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Next is ordinance 2026-20, an ordinance authorizing the conveyance of easement rights to Blue Ridge Electric Cooperative Incorporated for the purpose of utility infrastructure construction and maintenance at property owned by Oconee County located at Owens Road and Morris Road, Seneca, South Carolina. Such property currently identified by tax parcel number 520-36-10-017 and other matters related thereto.
So moved. Second.
Motion second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Next is resolution 2026-07. This is a companion resolution to the moratorium ordinance. It's a resolution directing the Oconee County Planning Commission, planning staff to commence a comprehensive review and proposed revision of Chapter 26 Roads, Chapter 32 Design Standards, Chapter 38 Zoning of the Oconee County Code of Ordinances, establishing an initial scope deliverable due no later than July 1, 2026, directing the Planning and Economic Development Committee of County Council to convene a special call meeting in July 2026 to receive the initial scope and set further direction and other matters related thereto.
So moved. Second.
Motion second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Next is resolution 2026-08. This is a resolution clarifying Oconee County retiree eligibility and benefits.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? All right, for discussion, action items, that first item has been removed from the agenda. That's the only action item. Next, we have council committee reports. That's gonna be myself, it's Budget, Finance, and Administration Committee. So the committee met on May 5th, 2026, and May 18th, 2026. On May 5th, the committee met at 4:30 p.m. where discussions were held regarding the development of policy manual for county boards and commissions, and an update was given regarding the fiscal year 26-27 budget. On May 18th, 2026, at 4 p.m., the committee met with Administrator Jones, provided the committee with an extended update on the formation of the fiscal year 26-27 budget, noting that the budget is approximately $750,000 away from being balanced. That's the update from that committee report. Next, we have board and commission appointments. Building Code Appeal Boards, no questionnaires on file. Agriculture Advisory Board, we still have one on file.
I'm not ready yet.
Not ready yet. And then now we need a motion to enter executive session for 5 items.
Make a motion.
Hang on, I gotta read them off. 1, to receive legal advice and discuss additional settlement agreements to opioid litigation. 2, receive legal advice and discuss contractual matters related to property acquisition. 3, receive legal advice regarding settlement claims and potential lawsuit. 4, discussion regarding the proposal, sale, and disposition of county-owned real property and related contractual matters. And 5, receive legal advice and discuss potential contractual matters related to emergency services.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
motion to exit executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, regarding executive session, we had a couple of items to come out of executive session. One being a motion to allow the county administrator to proceed with acceptance to remain in the class action lawsuit in regard to opioid litigation.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. And the other motion, a motion to direct the county attorney to enter into negotiations regarding the proposed sale and disposition of county-owned real property as discussed in executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. And last item on tonight's agenda, got first reading of the following ordinance. It's ordinance 2026-18, an ordinance of Oconee County, South Carolina, confirming the purchase of certain real property located in Oconee County, authorizing the lease of such certain Oconee County-owned real property to Kara H. Orr, and other matters related thereto.
So moved.
This in title only.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. I now need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Aye.